Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's been a little bit since I did a video, but I was out of town this weekend camping, and I went to a flea market, and so actually a couple of them. So I have a huge box of stuff to show you guys today, so I'm super excited. If you are somebody who enjoys vintage and thrift hauls, Dollar Tree hauls, that kind of stuff, then think about liking and subscribing. It would be great to have you as part of the channel. So without further ado, let's get into the haul. I have a lot of glass stuff, so I'm gonna have to just kind of go slowly through it. But the first little things that I got here were these little cute hooks. They're both ceramic. They're made in Japan, so they would be about 1940s or so. And they're just these little hooks to hang stuff on in the kitchen. They have little holes in them so you can hang them up. And they're both ceramic. And I believe I got these at the flea market for $1 a piece. So that's pretty good, actually. So I just thought those were kind of cute, and will look cute in my kitchen decor as well. So you might notice the background here is a little bit different. I'm sitting kind of in the corner of my apartment, and you can see my vintage light back here. And I also have some vintage pictures, some chalk art, and obviously my plants. There's also a chalk art dog there in the background, as you can see, and I do have an old-fashioned radio that does work. And then along this wall across is all a gallery wall, so it's all like vintage pictures like that. Okay, the next thing I picked up for $4 was this really pretty hobnail glass like candy dish, and it's in the shape of a swan, and I just thought it was absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't find too much online about this. It said that there's a couple different companies that make these, but because there aren't any markings on the bottom, it's really hard to distinguish which company possibly made these. So but it's just this beautiful green color, and I have a lot of green colorings in my apartment. My dining room, for the most part, is all green color. So this is just a nice little trinket dish, or whatever you want to use it for, but I just thought it was really pretty for like $4. So can't go wrong with that. Okay, the next thing I got is it's a double horse head shaving cup, and it is absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, I got it for $1. Online they're going for around $25, so not terribly expensive, but this is a shaving cup, so it would have had the little brush in there. And this is milk glass, so just thought that's really pretty. There is no markings on the bottom of this, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll either put it in my bathroom, or I might put it in the dining room and maybe just put some fall florals in it, because I'm gonna kind of do like for fall, I'm gonna kind of put some like horses and dogs and riding stuff, and just kind of equestrian it up a little bit for fall. So who knows, maybe I'll just end up putting some florals or something, or fall, picks inside of this. So just a really pretty find, very unique, a little bit different, and I love the horse heads on the sides. Okay, the next thing I picked up was a thing of eggs. It was $4, and it was just this little basket, and it just has a bunch of eggs in it, and they're just wooden eggs that are painted, and I just thought it was cute, very just kitchen-y, kitsch kind of stuff. So I figured I would put this in my kitchen. I have like a little vignette off to the side, and I might just add this kind of into that vignette. So I paid $4 for the basket and the eggs in there. Okay, the next thing I found at a little thrift store in the same town where the flea market was at. Everything in there was just donation. So I picked up this turkey. He's ceramic and he's pretty big. She said that somebody donated a whole bunch of these turkeys to them. So, I mean, I probably paid like 50 cents for it, so it was super cheap. But I was kind of looking for one to set on my dining room table for Thanksgiving, so I think this will be a great little fall find to put in there. It looks like on the back it's marked Crafts 8 for $7.99, made in China. So I don't know if it came from a craft store, but there were probably about 5 of them left there. So for 50 cents, I mean, you can't pass it up, right? Okay. I also did find this book from one seller. It's called Birds of a Feather by Jacqueline Winspear. And I just really like these books. They're kind of like mystery books, and they're set like in the 1930s. Different eras. There's different eras for each different book that she writes, but they're really good books. So if you're interested in like historical kind of mysteries, these are, or thrillers or mysteries, I guess, these are really fun. So, and I paid, I think, 50 cents for the book. The next thing I found is obviously going to just be a decor piece because it is in such rough shape. I mean, if you were somebody who's a collector and who could put the time and effort into maybe fixing it, that would be wonderful, but I'm not, so it's just going to be set out for decor for me. But it's this old camera. It is a Sure Shot camera. Looks like this. It's a box camera, and you have some glass up here. You also have some glass there on the side. It's in pretty rough condition. All right, so I had to take a quick break because I had some notes written down about the camera. So this is a vintage 1935 Agfa Ansco Sure Shot box camera. It was manufactured in the US. It took 120 roll film that took 8 2¼ by 3¼ inch pictures. So that's a little bit about this camera. Like I said, it's in really rough condition, so I'm just going to use it as a display piece only. Okay, so moving on. The next thing is not really vintage. It's pretty modern. You can probably find it on Amazon, but I loved the pink color. I have a lot of pink in my kitchen. So it was this pretty hobnail pink canister. It is glass. And then the top, let's see if I can get the top off. Just like that. And I don't know, I just loved it. I thought it was really pretty. I might put rice in it. And I paid $4 for this. So there's no like manufacturer on the bottom, but like I said, I'm pretty sure you can buy this like on Amazon or someplace like that. So it's not a vintage piece, but still cool. Okay, and then at that one of the flea markets, I just got this, I think it's like a giant scarf, but I absolutely loved the print on it. I thought it was so pretty. I paid $2 for it. And it's just wrapped up, but it's huge. Like, that's it just wrapped up. So I'm going to use this as like a runner for the top of my buffet for the fall. And a lot of these fall pieces that you see today will be going on top of this. So I figured for $2, that isn't bad for a nice, pretty fall runner. So, okay. The next thing that I got is a tin, and it's pretty plain. It's nothing super special. It doesn't even have a cover on it. But I collect tins. I have an open space above the cabinetry in my kitchen, so I just put vintage tins and stuff up there. So this one is a butternut coffee tin, and you can see there's some really cool graphics on there. And it goes all the way around. And I was talking to a guy at the flea market, and he was like, wouldn't it be nice if our coffee came in giant tins like this nowadays? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nowadays they've shrunk and you pay twice as much. Back then you got twice as much and you didn't pay as much for it. So, but I just thought the tin itself was pretty cool. So I'm just going to set this. I already cleaned this up, and I'm just going to set it up on top with the rest of my tins. Like I said, it's nothing crazy or special. It's just very different. I've never seen one kind of like this with the graphic so nicely all the way around. So I paid, I think, $1 for that tin. And the bottom of it is good. The inside's a little rusty, but the bottom is good. There's no holes in it or anything, so. Okay, so the next thing that I got is a vintage American Red Cross first aid kit. And it's just a bag. It just looks like this. It has the American Red Cross on the front. Now, the canvas bags were an earlier design, so these canvas bags went from about 1940 until 1960. So this is definitely an earlier bag. This would have been a kit. It would have held all their first aid stuff. It opens up like that. So yeah, not the tin or wooden boxes, but just simply a canvas bag is what they would have used back in that time period. So I paid, I think, $3 for this. I do have some other American Red Cross stuff in one of my cabinets, so I'm just going to add this to that. Again, this is not vintage, but I picked it up at one of the stores up where I was camping, and I have Scandinavian heritage, so I just thought this cup was so cute. And this might be a tad more Norwegian, but it kind of falls into a similar category. The Swedish horse. So I picked that up. It was like in a, I don't know what they called it, like a last chance sale for $5. So I didn't think that was too bad for a brand new coffee mug. Okay, and then one other seller that was at the flea market had this tiny, tiny little bird figurine. Looks like that. And I have a shadow box here on the wall in front of me, and so I add these little tiny things to it just to fill it in. I'm pretty sure this is a Japan-made one. It definitely looks like some others that I have up there. So this would have been like 1940s. But there is not any stickers on the bottom, so I'm not for sure. I did ask the seller, but she didn't know. But just based on what it looks like and some of the other pieces that I do already have, it's probably from that same era. So I think I paid $3 for this. So a little bit more than I normally would want to pay for it, but I just thought it was super cute. So okay, the next thing that I found was a pair of bookends, and I have a small shelf over to my right that I have a lot of, I have a Japanese girl and boy TV lamp. I have a couple figurines. So when I seen these bookends, I just knew that I had to have them. They are absolutely beautiful. There's the little girl there with her flower in her hair reading a book. And then you have the boy kind of leaning over, just, seeing what she's doing. They're in perfect condition. I paid $12, and then they were 20% off. So let's see, I thought I wrote down something about these bookends. They're just made in Japan. Let's see, UNESCO redware bookends, and they were from the 1950s. So Very pretty. I have seen them online. Some sellers say they're rare. I don't know if that's true because I did see a few of them online, so I don't know how rare that really makes them, but these ones are in absolutely perfect condition. So when I seen those, I just was like, yeah, I have to get those for sure, especially since they were on sale, obviously. So okay. The next thing I got was just this little tiny pin. It's just a little flower with a little ladybug on it. I don't think this is vintage. If it is, maybe it's like from the 80s or something. I don't know. But I paid $1 for it. And funny story, I had seen this at another like antique market somewhere. And they wanted like, I don't know, $15 for the same exact pin. So when I seen it sitting there in this little pile of junk for $1, I was like, well, I'm gonna get that one, because I had been looking at it at the other show and I was like, I'm not paying $15 for that. So I thought that was pretty cute. I got this little leaf. I don't know if it's, I guess maybe an ornament. I was camping at Itasca State Park, so I got this really pretty leaf ornament with the name of the park on the back or on the front, and it is wood, and then it has a little string to hang it up. So I'm gonna add that to my vintage decor. I did pay a little more for this. Obviously it's a souvenir, brand new, and so I paid $10 for that. Okay. I also, from the same place that I found that turkey, I also got this really pretty tin, and I'll try to get a little bit closer here so you can see the graphics on it. It's called the American Homestead Autumn by Currier and Ives. It was made by the Sunshine Biscuit Company. And so I just thought it was really pretty, and I'm gonna put this up for fall. I think I'm gonna put it again on the buffet. It does have some pumpkins and apples and stuff on there, so it does have a little bit of a fall theme going on. So I just thought that was really pretty, and again, I think I probably paid like 50 cents for it, so I didn't think that was bad at all. Okay, the next thing is something I've been wanting for quite a while. This antique show that I went to a few weeks ago had a cookie jar in depression glass in pink that I was really wanting. I offered her 25, but I think she said they were set on like 50 for it or something. So I did pass it up. That same cookie jar online was going anywhere from 25 to 100. So it just depended on the seller and what they wanted to sell it for. So when I seen this candy dish in the same exact print and everything that I wanted, excuse me for just a moment, I have to just pick up that paper. I decided I was just going to grab this one because it's not the cookie jar, but I still love it. And it's this beautiful pink depression glass candy jar. It's the Federal Depression Glass Pink Sharon Candy Dish with lid in the cabbage rose pattern. So absolutely gorgeous, in perfect condition. There isn't a chip on the thing, and I paid all of $6 for this at the flea market. So yeah, this is definitely going to be going in my kitchen somewhere. I haven't decided yet where, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, for $6 compared to 25 or 50, yes, I will take that. Thank you. I couldn't run to it fast enough. Okay, the next thing I got were some bangles from this gal. She was selling 3 of them for $2.50. They're not Bakelite or anything. They're just bangles, nothing special, but I do like these when I do my pinup shows and stuff, just to add to dresses and these were colors that I didn't have. So I just picked those up, and I like this blue one because it had design on it, which always kind of, you know, just adds a little something to it. So so yeah, I picked that up from a gal at the flea market for $2.50. I got this little tin. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I just thought it was cute. I paid $2 for this. And actually this was 20% off as well. I forgot. So at one of those, at the same place that I got the bookends from, I got this as well. So $2, 20% off. I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but I love the design of it and just that kind of rub and buff look that it has to it. Just pretty, and I thought I can add this to some of my fall decor as well. So I picked that up. From that same place, I picked up this fat frying thermometer. I'm gonna put this in the little vignette that's on my kitchen counter. It looks like this, and then when you put it in the hot grease, then this will move to show you, you know, what the temperature is. So you just set that down in there. I did clean this up. It was pretty grody, but it looks much better. And I paid also $2 for this with 20% off. And it's in really good condition. I'm not 100% sure if there's supposed to be something here on the bottom. I'm assuming maybe there is, but I'm not going to be using it for fat frying. I'm just going to use it as decoration. So I'm not too worried if it is missing a piece. Not a big deal to me. So, okay. This here is really pretty. It is a antique wood serving tray with glass over horse and dog hunting scene. Apparently, again, this is rare. I don't know how rare. I didn't see but maybe one or two online. The one I seen online was going for $65, and I paid $5 for mine. So it looks like this. Sorry about the ring light, but you can see there it has a really pretty riding scene, horse and dog hunting scene, and it's a serving tray, so like that, and you would just put stuff on the top there if you were gonna, you know, use it as a serving tray, but I'm gonna use it as a backdrop for some of my fall stuff. So just thought that was so pretty for $5. I mean, I cleaned it up a little bit, and yeah, it's good to go. There isn't any chip on the glass or anything. So from the same store that I got the bookends, I also picked up this little dog. I thought he would go really cute in the horse and dog theme that I'm going for fall. He was $7 and then 20% off. I'm pretty sure he's also Japan made, but his sticker is like half torn and I really can't read it. So, and it also looks like at least one of his legs was broken and re-glued, but that's okay. I still think he's awesome. So I picked him up. He'll be going in my fall collection of goodies. And then I did stop at one antique store when I was on vacation. And so I did find these, and I thought I wrote down a little bit about these ones. Did I write anything down? Oh, they're just vintage made in Japan ceramic pheasants in flight wall pockets. So there's 3 of them, like so. They look like that, and then they have like a little pocket in the top so that you could put like florals or fall leaves, and then they just look like they're flying like that. And these are Japan made as well, like I said, so 1940s. These also did say that they're rare. I don't know. I've seen a couple of them online, but I don't know, again, really how rare they are. But these seem to be in perfect condition. I don't see any chips on them. Again, they were from an antique store, so I did pay $25 for the set for these. but they're in like awesome condition. And I've just been wanting a set of these flying pheasants to put on the wall. I think it just makes fall. It feels fall to me anyways. I don't know. But so yeah, there's a set of 3, and then they do have little like hooks on the back so that you can hang them up. So I just thought those were darling. So when I seen them, they were kind of on my list of things to look for vintage finds. So I figured, well, we're here. The price isn't outrageous. I'm just gonna get them. So I went for it. Okay, and then let's see if I can put this back in here. The last thing that I found at the flea market, which might seem a little funny to some, but it's cute because I do have a little bit of a diner type theme in my kitchen, was this holding basket for like ketchup and mustard, and then there's a spot here to put your napkins in. It's the Heinz, so the ketchup brand, and you can just put your ketchup and mustard in it. I might even put them in there and put it in the fridge and then just pull it out when I need it. I paid $2 for this. There was a couple of them. My sister grabbed one as well. Just kind of cutesy, diner style, just different, you know, something a little bit different. So yeah, I just figured it would be something kind of cute to just put, you know, stuff in when you're maybe making hot dogs or hamburgers or something like that. But so anyways, that is my haul. So I did pretty good, I think, for, you know, a couple flea markets and an antique store. Oh, and I did forget to show you one last thing, I guess. I did get a bunch of books. So this lady had a whole bunch of books for like 4 for $1. So I got a bunch of Louis L'Amour westerns, and if you're not familiar with them, they're just different western type stories. I've read a few of them. I think they're pretty good. I mostly got these to use as risers for things. Not to say that I won't read them, which I might, but most of the time they just make good bookends or risers to stack things on, because they're little, you know, they're not a real big book. So I picked up, I think, 8 of those, and then I've got 4 more of them here. So yeah, so I picked those up mostly, like I said, just to kind of stack things on, maybe read them, etc., etc. I also got the Room on Rue Emily book. This is kind of a novel, I guess, set during World War II. So this one I'll be reading. I didn't necessarily get this as a riser or anything. This one I actually wanted to read. And then I also got The Trader's Wife. And this is kind of like a, I would say set back in like the pioneer days, I guess. It's by Kathleen Kent. So yeah, so I picked those books up as well, and like I said, they were like 50 cents a piece or like $1 for 4 or something. So I didn't pay very much for those at all. But anyways, guys, that is my haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you enjoy these kind of videos and you'd like to see more vintage and you know, different hauls, this is definitely my jam. This is what I like to show. So think about liking and subscribing if you wouldn't mind. And that is all for now. I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Or maybe bye.